So Nvidia's CEO, Jensen Huang, just dropped what might be one of the most game-changing economic statements we've heard in a long time. It's an idea so big, it could literally reshape how we think about industries, companies, and even entire countries. So what is this radical idea? Let's get into it.
And here it is. Compute equals a country's GDP. Now let that sink in for a second. He's not saying compute influences GDP or that it's a part of GDP. He's making a direct one-to-one claim. Compute is the new measure of economic output. This is a wild statement that turns computing power from just another tool into the main engine of the economy.
So is this just some crazy hype from a CEO, or is he actually onto something huge? Are we really watching a new economic reality being born right before our eyes? To figure that out, we've got to dig deeper than the headlines and understand a massive shift that's happening right now. A shift in what data centers are for, what software does, and what intelligence itself even is.
Okay, so the first big idea we need to wrap our heads around is this thing he calls the AI factory. And no, this isn't just a fancy new name for a data center. It's a total reinvention of what these places are built to do.
Think about it like this. For decades, a data center was basically a digital warehouse, a place to store information. It was a cost, right? A line item on a budget. An AI factory, though, is completely different. It's a production line. It's actively manufacturing a product. And that product is intelligence, which gets measured, packaged, and sold as AI tokens.
And this slide, it lays it out perfectly. We're moving from a passive model of just storing stuff to an active model of producing value. Like Jensen Huang says, nobody loves building data centers because they're a cost, but everybody loves building factories. Why? Because factories make money. The more tokens your factory can crank out, the more revenue you generate. Simple as that.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Every factory has a bottleneck, a limiting factor, right? For AI factories, that constraint is power. You've only got so many watts to work with. So the single most important metric for success becomes tokens per watt. The architecture that can produce the most valuable tokens for every single watt of energy it uses, well, that's the one that wins.
And bam, this is where Nvidia steps in and says, hey, we've got the answer. They claim their whole system gives you a 10x, an order of magnitude advantage in this crucial metric. All of a sudden, what computer architecture you choose isn't just some tech decision for the IT department. It becomes a C-suite, CEO-level strategic choice that has a direct line to next year's bottom line.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, what's fueling this insane demand for AI factories and all these tokens they're making? Well, it all comes down to how AI itself is radically evolving. We're moving way beyond just getting answers. We're entering a whole new era of AI taking action.
Think about the whirlwind we've been in for the past 2 years. First, we got generative AI, the stuff that could write poems and emails. Then it got smarter with reasoning, where it could ground its answers in facts and be way more reliable. But this third step, Agentic AI, man, that is the real revolution. This is where AI stops just talking and starts doing.
Just look at how we talk to AI now. It used to be all about asking simple questions, right? What is this? Who is that? But now we're giving it commands. Create a business plan, do a full competitive analysis, build me a working application. Every one of these actions takes thousands, maybe even millions of times more compute than just answering a simple question.
And what does that mean? It means the entire multi-trillion-dollar IT industry is about to get completely flipped on its head. The old model of just selling software licenses is dying. The new model is a token-based economy where you rent autonomous digital experts that actually know how to use all the tools for you. This is where the future growth is.
So all this new demand, it creates huge new problems, huge new constraints. And you know what? In a world full of constraints, having an integrated system is a massive advantage. Which brings us right to Nvidia's master plan.
See, Nvidia isn't just a chip company. They're playing the long game. They build the entire system, from the CPU to the GPU to the high-speed networking that connects them, all the way up to the CUDA software that makes it all sing. And because they control every single piece of that puzzle, they can innovate on the whole stack at a pace that nobody else can even touch.
And here's the crazy part, the paradox of it all. All these limits we're facing, constraints on power, on the supply chain, on building facilities, they don't hurt Nvidia. They actually make them stronger. Because when you've only got the budget and the power to build one AI factory, you absolutely can't afford to put anything but the most efficient, most powerful engine inside it. You have to pick the best.
All right, so agentic AI is already mind-blowing. But believe it or not, that's just the warm-up act. The next big wave is all about AI leaving the digital world and stepping into our physical one.
So what does that even mean? It means we have to teach AI the fundamental laws of physics. Things we take for granted, like causality, one thing causing another, gravity, inertia. These basic concepts are infinitely harder to model than human language, and being able to master them is the key to unlocking the biggest industries in the world.
And listen, this isn't some far-off sci-fi dream. Nvidia is already deep in this game. They're building foundational models for humanoid robots, for self-driving cars, even for digital biology to simulate life itself. They are building the software stack for AIs that can actually understand and interact with physical reality.
So if you want to map this all out, here's a simple way to think about it. Right now, it's all about generative and reasoning AI. But in the next couple of years, Agentic AI is going to be the new normal. And the entire decade after that will be completely dominated by the development of physical AI. Each step builds on the one before it, and each step demands way, way more compute.
So when you boil it all down, what's the one thing you need to remember? It's this. The entire software industry of the future, from enterprise apps to self-driving cars to robots, it's all going to be driven by tokens. All value is going to be created, packaged, and sold as tokens that are cranked out by these new AI factories.
And that leaves us with one final, really important question that you have to ask yourself. This isn't just about big tech anymore. As our whole world gets rebuilt on this new foundation of AI factories, is your industry getting ready for these autonomous agents, or is it going to get left in the dust?